Hello everyone, this is Helena Bird, and today I'm going to take you through a video where I show you 10 ways to top a junk journal tag. Now this is actually a re-edited version of an old video. When I first started YouTube, shall we say my video editing skills were not brilliant, and that is putting it very politely. So I've taken down the old video and decided to edit it together in a way that people might actually want to watch it and provide a new narration. So this first technique here, in terms of topping a tag, I'm just getting a piece of fabric and cutting a strip of it, and I'm going to fold it over the top of the tag. Often you will see people go to elaborate lengths of creating an eyelet and threading through ribbon, and you can do all that, and I certainly do some of those things later in the video. But it's also possible, if you're wanting to create some quick and easy tags, if you are limited for time, to just grab a strip of material, glue each end and fold it over the top of the tag. And I always think this makes for such a stunning contrast between the cardstock and the fabric. The second idea on how to top a tag, or shall I say decorate a tag in this instance, is to indeed add an eyelet at the top and then wrap thread or yarn around the tag as though you were wrapping up a parcel. So kind of crisscross it over the back, come through the front and tie a little bow at the top. Now, I did this in this video, and you know, I don't think I've actually used this once, again, in all of my junk journaling, and I love this technique. And this is another reason that I'm revisiting this video, is that I've actually taught things on this channel that I've really enjoyed making, and then I've just totally forgotten that I ever even did that, and I kind of stick to the same old things. I'm not sure if any of you can relate to that, but you learn something new perhaps, and you think, oh yeah, it's great, I'm definitely going to do that. And then somehow it just never quite ends up happening when you're making. So it's a little reminder to me that these look absolutely adorable when you wrap the string around them and tie a bow at the top. So definitely going to do that. The third way of topping a tag is to grab some lace or a lace embellishment and essentially use a brad to attach it, and maybe a little glue as well, a little bit of fabric glue just to hold it in place, to the top of the tag. Now, I have limited supply of this vintage lace that I'm using here in the video, but it is possible to very cheaply pick these things up from thrift stores or secondhand shops. Often people are just trying to get rid of them because a lot of the things that these old lace items used to be attached to, we no longer use them. So things like, placemats for teapots and things like that often are beautiful, but we just don't use them anymore in the same way we used to. So it is always wonderful to give something old that wouldn't normally have a use, a new use. And I am particularly enamored with this particular tag that I made, and I still have it somewhere in one of my journals. So the fourth way of topping a tag is with a wax seal. And for the actual tab part, I just folded over a piece of paper and then I melted the wax seal over the top of it to give it a slightly different aesthetic. I really enjoyed doing that, but I do find wax a little bit messy. So if you're looking for something a little bit quicker and easier, I can recommend the fifth option, which is to just literally grab a piece of washi tape and hook it over the top of the tag like we did with the fabric. That's a quick and easy way of doing it as opposed to getting the wax seals out. And I think it looks really cute. And guess what? I've got lots of washi tape to use up, so I need to remember that this is something that works well. And this is just another washi tape technique where I'm essentially making the washi tape into ribbon. And I saw this on Margaret Miller's channel, and she's extremely creative. If you've never checked out her channel, I really recommend it. And she made washi tape into a kind of ribbon, and she kind of finagled it into the hole. As you can see, I'm making quite a meal of that bit, but a little bit of adjustment and you are there eventually. Just trim it off and you've got this lovely makeshift ribbon, and it works really well if you don't have actual ribbon in your stash. So I guess this would count as 5 ways to top a tag here. And this is me thinking about how I could use my scraps and kind of get rid of my scraps, because I'm always looking for scrap busting ideas. And I thought this would be quite a good one. So I just inked up a few pieces of scrap paper and then started attaching them to the top of the tag in a kind of fan shape. And then I just used a brad to essentially hold everything permanently in place in case the glue stick failed at any point. And again, it's quite a quick and easy way of attaching a tab to the top of a tag. I am really still in love with all these designs that I made, even though they were a few years back now. So I guess we're up to number 6 in terms of ways to top a tag, is attaching a small charm using a jump ring. And it's just a matter of feeding the jump ring through the charm and then attaching it to a hole in the top of the tag. And I just use a little bit of the twine that I was using earlier in order to attach it. I do think this again is really cool for using up like old broken jewelry, and it's a way as well of differentiating the tags that you make so they're not all looking the same. This is something just a little bit different, and I really love that. So number 7, in terms of other ways to top a tag, then I decided I would use a button. It does not actually have to be a heart-shaped button. I just happen to have those in my stash and I thought they looked cute. I think any shape of button would work. So the 9th way of topping a tag is to just add another tag on top of the tag that you already have. And I think this layered approach looks really cool. It again makes it stand out from the other tags that you have made. In this case, I just got a small bit of muslin to tie the 2 tags together, but essentially I'm classing the tag itself as the way in which it's topped. What's not to love about making tags? They are so easy to make and they're so satisfying, and they always look beautiful when they're finished. And number 10 is to attach a small ribbon bow rather than it being a ribbon that feeds through the tag. So that is 10 different techniques for topping a tag. Most of them are very straightforward. I think there's only the wax seal that's perhaps a bit fiddly, and everything else is pretty straightforward and pretty quick. And this has been a great refresher for me to remember what on earth I was making a couple of years ago, and the techniques that I said to myself, I really enjoyed doing that in the video, and I'll definitely do that in my junk journaling practice. Of course, in some cases, I've totally forgotten to do that. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video, that it's given you some new ideas, and I'll be back with another video soon. Until then, happy creating. Just a reminder that you can get some free printables for your journal or for your artwork by becoming a member of my Substack, and you'll find the link below.